they didn't take this any further. But it signaled to me, and in my style of Dawah, that Islam and calling people to the oneness of Allah is not a debatable point. It doesn't mean that you don't engage them and have discussion. But it leads to a bigger point of Dawah to me, and that is that the person giving Dawah, and I'm not one of those people who subscribe to the idea that you have to be Sheikhul Islam before you can tell people what you know. Not getting off on points that you have no knowledge about and you feel you got to answer every challenge and all like that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm not one based on the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm not saying that someone who knows nothing should be trying to teach someone. The best that that person may do is maybe help guide them to someone or to the masjid. But I don't believe that you need a degree from Azhar, from Medina University, to share with others what you know about the oneness of Allah. Because truly, when all is said and done, Dawah, the verbal Dawah of talking to others, is an invitation to submission to Allah. As a young man and as a fledgling political scientist, but you just talked to this man for 20 minutes and you haven't talked to him about Tawheed or his responsibility to Allah one time. Not once. Now we never ever see this man again and no other Muslim is able to talk to him again. What Dawah has he had? He's had ramblings of somebody talking about some political system, but he has not been invited to submission to Allah. So that should energize us in our Dawah work a little bit to understand that we don't have to know all these different levels of fiqh or sharia to invite people to submission to Allah. There's one God, and it's easy to read a few ayah, to read a few hadith, and to understand how to communicate this message of submission. Now back to this point real quick. I was in a Muslim country and I ran across a delegation of brothers from South Africa. And this was back in the 90s. And I asked those brothers, how did they perceive the impact of the Dawah of Ahmed Deedat? And what these brothers, without exception, said to me, that they seriously questioned whether or not this combative style was the cause of one person in South Africa embracing Islam. Now, I don't know. They're from there. They have their opinions. Maybe they just didn't like Ahmed Deedat's style or something like this. But this is what they said. That what that style did was to harden many of the Christians in their positions, made them more aggressive against Muslims because they were being humiliated in front of the world because of how these debates were being distributed and things like that. So the methodology of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not this, gut punch you, let's see who can get in the most blows, and the judge at the end of the fight go to the scorecards and check the three judges and see this judge gives 110 to 109 to, Brother Haroon, and this judge gives. That, to me, is not the style of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ or the righteous scholars. I just haven't seen that, and I would not encourage us to adopt those styles. It appeals to our competitive nature, and especially young people. They like that stuff. I mean, because he'd be slamming, boom, But it's not something that if someone talked to us about Islam in that particular style, it would not endear us to them or make us want to hear anything else they have to say. We would get angry. And the South African brother said that many of the South African Christians just got angry. I'll stop at that. Yes?
Khalid,
like that tonight.
If you have 5 minutes to speak to a non-Muslim about Islam, what would you say to them?
I thought you were going to ask, you're supposed to toss me up an easy question. You're not supposed to, 100-mile fastball down on the corner or something. You have to quickly try to assess who you're talking to. Not that your message, your core message, would change. But I say that in saying, what would be our approach? How are we approaching someone to talk to them about Islam? Oftentimes, you can approach somebody with, did you see that article, or did you see that news report the other day? I mean, just, we have to find an entree, an entrance. It means a lot who you're talking to. And I'm not trying to evade the point, I'm going to try to get to it. But if you know the person, you can have one approach with them because you know them, they know you. If you've never seen the person before, then we have to, as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ encouraged us and demonstrated in his sunnah, we approach the people in Dawah at a time when they can best receive it. Meaning, and I've been guilty of this myself, you have somebody struggling with shopping bags, right? They're doing a juggling act. They're about to fall with their bags. And I'm working the parking lot. And I'm out there with my flyers. And I'm giving out this Dawah information. And the man or the woman, they're struggling. And rather than offering to help, I'm not a robber, I'm not a mugger, I just want to assist you to get your things to the car. Rather than assisting to help, we're interfering with this person, trying to do something that is very critical for them to do at that moment. And there can be even more extreme examples of what I and other Muslims have done, catching people at certain moments. There's some Muslims that believe the best time to give dawah to a Christian is go out in front of the church right before Sunday service and stand on the sidewalk and condemn these people or pass them out literature telling them that they're going to the fire if they keep worshiping Isa ibn Maryam, alayhi salam. This is the wrong time, Allahu Alam. But it appears to be the wrong time to get your 5 minutes in because they're on a mission. They're doing something. They're in the middle of doing something. So the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ was to take the time to address the people when they have time to listen to what it is that you're saying. If the people, as during the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if they are gathering on this big festival day, and it's nothing but leisure time, everyone out there is just sitting around talking and whatever, this is a good time. Because the people are engaging each other in discussion, they're talking about all kinds of things, so take the time then. Don't interfere with someone trying to do something. Someone's running in a building. It's 5 minutes to 5. Their lights are about to get cut off. If they don't pay this $162 by 5 o'clock for this weekend on Friday, they're going to be without lights the whole weekend. And you're standing there giving dawah. And now you're ready to condemn the person to the fire because they're not taking 5 minutes to listen to you. But they have something at that moment which is more important to them. So let them run in the building and just calmly talk to them when they come out. So specific approach